Breaking news. Deprivation of land, suppressment into residential schools. Aboriginals and Inuits all over Canada have been severely oppressed throughout Canadian history. Aboriginal people's sense of belonging to the land, that they are a part of the land and are grateful towards it for granting them life. Taking that away from them is like taking away their life. Residential schools in the Indian Act of 1876 were designed to oppress Aboriginal culture and kill the wild child within. Aboriginal children were put through absolutely horrible treatment through the residential schools in an attempt to franchise them into British subjects and lose all connection to their culture, including their land. Individuals such as Richard Wagamese has felt the painful aftermath/effects of the residential schools being raised in a series of foster and adopted homes because of the inability for his birth parents to take care of him after all the suffering they had been put through. So how do we overcome oppression? Alberta, how do we overcome oppression?
We, as a singular person, have different choices to overcome our oppression. Usually, if you're more of a violent person, you'd rather overthrow your oppressors. But if you're more of a calm, docile person, you'd rather outwit them or maybe try to wait it out.
Okay. And Alberta, if you yourself were oppressed, how would you overcome your own oppression?
I'm more of a violent person, so overthrow it is.
Okay. Thank you for your time today, Alberta. How do you overcome oppression?
Oppression, in a way, it's kind of difficult because there's so many people in the world who have their different ways of kind of coping and getting through difficult times. And for me especially, I just believe that having good friends and good family besides you can help you get through a lot.
Okay. Novel Keeper and Me by Richard Wagamese. Garnet Raven, the main protagonist, deals with self-oppression and hiding the fact that he's of Indian, or so to call it, descent. But with the support of his own family and people who cared for him, he slowly, little by little, became able to overcome it. In the news, often oppression seems to be something that needs to be fought, because it stems from an oppressor, someone causing personal harm to others. However, in the case of the First Nations people here in Canada, a peaceful group of nations, rather than payback or avenging those who have oppressed them, there is a need for understanding, communicating on a mutual level about their culture, ideas, and way of life. And the first step begins with a sorry.
The responsibility for the apology is ultimately mine alone. There are several of my colleagues who do deserve the credit. I do want to thank both the Minister of Indian Affairs and his predecessor, now the Minister of Industry.
So how do we overcome oppression?
It's very important for people who are oppressed to band together and join forces with other oppressed people, even if they seem a little bit different. It's important that they all basically join forces so they have greater strength in their numbers, and with that greater strength, it's easier to overcome their oppressors.
Okay, thank you.
You take it, and then you feel don't like it, and you tell yourself, it's okay this time. Don't come again. If next time I should give you a chance, no more chance. Just tell yourself, this time is okay. I learned a lesson. You understand? That's a general, very general.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. To overcome oppression, there needs to be understanding and acceptance. We need to understand one's culture, traditions, and identity. Take some time to really speculate into it and accept how and why it exists, and to what purpose does it serve for a group of nations of people.
My friend Lita sure likes to fight. I'm sure glad she's on our side. But there are other ways to resolve differences, like talking it out. Maybe shouting it out. What's important is to listen and hear how the other person feels. You may find your differences aren't as bad as you think. Try listening first. That's what Sailor Moon says.
Sailor Moon says? How about Sailor Moon does?